Hey guys, I've got some fidgets from friends. I didn't even look at the name. I just knew from the package color that this one was from Kyle over at Fidget Focused. I think I recall a couple of the things in here, but honestly, I keep myself surprised. Hopefully I didn't show that address there. I'll have to go back and check that later. I think we're good. So that's everything. I think there's, a couple things clearly from Metal Toys here that they sent him to check out. Lots of pieces for it. Right on. I think I've tried Adam Sherry's full PEI TopF, Ultim TopF. I wonder if I have some glass balls that would fit this thing. That could be really cool. Okay, let's get this one. This one clearly is the new TopC. Feels quite heavy. And totally different action. Okay, so I kind of hate that this is, well, I hate how this looks. That's just me. But the click action is really good. I mean, we've got a click plate in here, not a ZZ plate, but this is the snappiest TopC I've ever felt. But at the same time, it's not hard to rotate. That's something that I've never been able to achieve with the TopC. So I'm actually kind of excited to dig in here and see what is going on. Actually, I'm having to control myself. Let's put these up here to the top and get into the rest of what we got here. We got a Rapt Lite. Nice. I wonder if this has a different setup than mine. It's crunchy. So does that mean the dampers? Hang on, I gotta hold it up to the light here. Yeah, it looks like the dampers are taken out. Interesting. And it looks like the light gap is different between the two. So I'm just checking the screws here to make sure. Yep, they're snug. Okay. Okay, and then we got I think this is called a breakthrough slider or something. That also has, if memory serves me correctly, it's got curved plates. And I don't know if they are, let's see if I can look here. I'm gonna have to get pretty close, I think. Maybe I won't get in the way of the camera. I wonder if these are formed curved or if they are machined curved. I'm not sure because I'm gonna use light gaps here. Maybe I could use, oh, I didn't bring my fanny pack out here. I'm not going to have a flashlight for a light source here on the counter. So, I mean, I guess what I can tell is different about the curve plates between the breakthrough and the Rapt. The Rapt has contact, let me point at something plastic here. The Rapt's contact surface is right here. And it's kind of inset to the edge perimeter. And I can see that when I hold it up to the light. You can see that it's like right here on the edge. This guy, when I hold it up to the light, sorry I'm off camera, the plates are touching even closer to the edge, laterally this way, and this way, it's also a little further to the edge. I don't have a square magnet set up. Got it's wide spacing this way. So it's like if you had your V2 Rapt set up, well, with the magnet inserts set up with wide lateral spacing. Okay, we've got a T6 here. I'm really curious. Just take that screw off and hopefully this doesn't explode on me. Doesn't. Yeah, it's not a square setup. It looks like it could be a square setup if it was 2x3, right? I'm not gonna change the setup, guys. I'll leave it as it is. I am a fan of square setups on sliders. That's just a personal preference. I mean, I do think sliders, function better and do the moves that I like them to do with a square setup, but again, that's just personal preference. There's not anything wrong with how this functions, especially whenever you're just doing ladders or slides. things like that, it comes into play when you start doing things like that, which is something I actually do quite a good bit with my sliders. See, it doesn't, the corners just want to lock in. That's okay. It's just something you have to take into account whenever you're playing with one like this. I gotta say, the plates they're really good. They feel nice. Definitely a good slider. I would definitely have it set up in the 2-click. The magnets are really close to the edge of the plate, so it's really easy to, like at night, right? Yeah. There's not a lot of contact plate to plate compared to how a Rapt is, so there's just not as, I don't know, still locked on there, but if you just push past where the edge lock is, this has more engagement, so you're less likely to push it off of the edge. This gets close to the edge easier and can just fall away. Does that make sense? Just getting another real nitpicky here. I mean, ergonomics, we're not comparing these two. The ergonomics on this thing, they're fine. There's no like hot spots. It's just, you know, it's a rectangle with a kind of like a crack thing, lightning bolt mixture going on. I guess the magic here is the plates of this one. Like, they are good and they slide together well. How does it look when you're in intermittent engagement points? It looks like almost flat contact there. I don't see a light gap. A little bit, I guess. Minimal plate curve, but it works. And it's cool, the texture. It's not something you really feel either. It does slide on itself rather well, overcoming the magnets here, trying to do that. I mean, I can feel the pattern maybe a little bit, so I'm sure these would break in really nicely and feel, you know, quite good. They're definitely pretty. Oh, this is by YCEDC. Oh, and it says breakthrough. Okay, I was right. Nice. Next, let's dig into this TopC a little bit here. Trackless sliders, definitely have a love for. So let's see, we've got, I guess this is a Teflon ZZ plate maybe, and a Peak ZZ plate, not opened yet. We have a loose ball. Let me get that ball back in here real quick. Just don't want to misplace it. Okay. It is definitely nice, this new bigger screw that they've got on the backside. I have been curious. Let's look. They're using the same small bearing, so that's interesting. They just have a bigger piece on the back, but I mean, I like that. There's no reason like not to. And yeah, this is a Peak click plate. I quite like it. I'm going to leave the tune also how it is. I just wanted to see what was going on, if it was different from other TopCs, like mechanically on the inside. And it does not seem to be. It just seems that this click plate, the Peak, is very clicky. And you can see there is quite a lot of rock on the top disc compared to the bottom. That is something that seems to open up with every generation of TopC coin I have experienced. And unfortunately, it's something I don't hate it on this one. I don't notice it as much as the Makume and Zerkukai and Superconductor that I used to have. I guess because this is just so clicky and jumpy, you don't quite notice it. Maybe it's the shape too. Definitely the noisiest TopC I've ever used. I mean, it's not a bad thing. I wasn't even aware that you could get one to do this. The grip is really good on this new design, on the front and the back side. It's definitely going in a styling direction that I'm just not the biggest fan of, that Metal Toys has been doing. I just like their older stuff, I guess. That's just, again, personal preference. The style of this new coin is not something I would want myself. I definitely like that you can hold it like this. I know that was definitely done intentionally and by design. Actually, I like that like a lot. I wish my Zerk one would do that, you know? Oh, coming loose on me. Oh, wait a minute now. That's tighter than it was before. So, I mean, we got a new coin here again. I guess this just wasn't ever tight, and I just was able to get it past a little something extra right there. Definitely a stiff setup now. Still quite clicky, but man, my thumb's getting tired using it. I kind of hurt it doing something the other day. It's an old injury, skier's thumb or whatever, when you bend it backwards. But this joint gets a little, sometimes. So switch to something that is very low effort to use. The TopF doesn't function very good with stiff springs and big balls and stuff like that. It's not meant to be like that. It's a gentle slider, in my opinion, with a fine feel. And you can kind of feel this central piece booping up and down with the click plate, but not too much. Low effort, good feedback through the Ultim. It's pretty good. Let's see what all the stuffs came with this one. Looks like we've got some of the new little stickers, some balls, some springs, some stickers. Yeah, okay. I'm not gonna bother taking this one apart either, because I also, personal preference, I guess, I'm not the biggest fan of how this comes apart and goes back together. It's a little finicky. Like, I can usually do it fine, but I don't want it to not go fine here on camera and waste time. Yeah, it's just not my fidget. I'm not that familiar with it. You keep everything lined up and kind of can clunk and click it back together, it does fine. But, yeah. It's very different than a TopB, just to compare them. TopB is much bigger and has less range of motion. They're entirely different mechanisms. You can set up a TopB to be much stronger on the haptics, just like this one is. But I don't feel like a TopF, it doesn't slide very smoothly whenever you set it up that stiff. And this is just a little too light for what I love. So boring, it's making me yawn. Just kidding. I'm exhausted, guys. It's really hot here in Georgia right now. We were outside for a little bit and playing with the dogs. I'm just beat. I'll take a sip of water here. Actually, chug some water there for a second. So, I mean, this thing really is, like, the plates feel good. Kyle had a comment in one of his recent videos about curved plates being compared to the wheel and, like, inventing the wheel. You know, if something is so good, it's gonna get reused in some similar fashion. I really like doing this move lately. It'll do it. It's a little locked in on the corner roll. Ooh, right there. That was a little weird. I find not square sliders can struggle with this, because if it's a big clunk right there. This is definitely the first Rapt Lite I've experienced with a clicky setup, and I must say, I like it. Get mine out here. I like this too, though. I wonder if these are from different runs or different finish days or something, because the finishes are a little different. Looks like almost a slightly longer tumble on my top plates here compared to this one. These edges are a little softer on mine, but the plates themselves They're like identical. For sure. A little more wear going on mine. But I've also had it longer, I think, so that makes sense. Double wrapped in here. Whoops. Oh, Kyle, thank you. I'm gonna get this and this Nectar stainless steel and Coracle L and this ice spinning click and crystal tie and a couple things that Osman is sending back to me. That's fun. That I sent him for review that I'm also going to send y'all's way. So it's going to be quite a few things coming back out for me. It's about time, huh? So I guess, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.